Hi class. So this week we are looking at verbs, and in this PowerPoint presentation we're going to look at some regular and irregular verbs. And so let's look at the regular verb first. And it's a verb that follows standard patterns in its inflection. So the past tense of a regular verb is formed by adding an ed. The past tense of a regular verb walk becomes walked. Shout becomes shouted, and talk becomes talked. So your hint for regular verbs, and I'll add this in the module of regular verb list, is that a verb that ends in D or ED is how you form the past tense of a regular verb. Then we have something called irregular verbs. An irregular verb is a verb in which the past tense is not formed by adding a D or ED. For instance, look at these examples. The word feel becomes felt. The past tense of the verb feel is felt. The past tense of the word go is went. We don't say I go to the store. We say I went to the store. Past tense of make, the word changes and becomes made. We don't say I maked a cake. We say I made a cake. The word say becomes said, and take becomes took. And again, I'll put you a handout in the module of common irregular verbs. Okay, let's look at the words has and have. So how do we know when to use has? Has is used in the third person singular, and it will be paired with the pronouns he, she, and it. Do not share your drink with James. He has a nasty cold. Notice here that you have this third person singular. So he has. Emma, the cat has your cheeseburger. Has your. His team has officially won the tournament. So we see here his has. Okay, let's look at how we're going to use the word have. Have is an irregular verb that means to possess. I have not yet begun to fight. You have exactly 5 minutes before the whole space station self-destructs. If Tanya has 6 books and Terry has 7 oranges, how many total books do they have? Okay, notice that have has more functions than has. It's used more with pronouns. So in the first and second person singular, have will go with I and you. And in the first, second, and third person plural, have will be paired with we, you, and they. So here's some hints for you. I know that may have sounded a little confusing. If you see the words he, she, and it, you will use the word has, the irregular verb has. And if you see the words I, you, we, or they, you will use the word have. Now here's a tricky one. Lie or lay. Lay means to set or place something in a resting position. Lie, on the other hand, does not require a direct object. Lay the book on the table. I will lie down. Set or sit. Set, S-E-T, is to place or put something somewhere. set the silverware on the table. Sit means to rest, and typically people or animals sit. Objects set, S-E-T. And then sat is the past tense of sit. I will sit on the chair. I sat on the chair. I will set the silverware on the table. And it's really important when we're speaking that we pronounce those vowels. Set, sit, sat. You hear that sound. Okay, went or gone. How do you know when to use went or gone? Well, gone must be used alongside the words has, had, and have. And went must not be used alongside the words has, had, and have. Okay, so you're not sure whether to use went or gone. The word gone always needs what we call an auxiliary verb before it. Has, have, had, is, am, are, was, were, and be. Those words will always use the word gone. Saw or seen. This is something that I see quite often, especially in our region of the country that we live in. A lot of people will say, I seen that at the store, when really they should say, I saw that. Generally, seen does not stand alone. It leans on another word. And saw is a standalone verb. It doesn't need another verb to prop it up. The word seen is used alongside have, has, had, was, or were. I have seen that dog before. I had seen. And then saw can stand alone. I saw, she saw, he saw. Notice we don't have any of the helping words to prop it up. Okay, was or were. Was and were are both past tenses of the verb to be. So let's look at some of these examples. If you have a singular pronoun, I, you, he, she, it, let's look at how we do that. I was, you were, he was, she was, it was. Then if we have plural pronouns, we're going to use were. Notice over here in the singular pronouns, the only time we use were is with the word you, because you can be either singular or plural. We were, you were, they were. Okay, if you need to look at these again, I'm going to put the PowerPoint on this module without any narration, so you can look at the PowerPoint by itself as well. Okay, another way that you can think about the word were is it's used for statements that do not describe reality. If I were a rich person, I'd retire tomorrow. She acts as if she were the one in charge. If I were faster, I could qualify for the Boston Marathon. So those are all not realistic. And so we use the word were to kind of describe a fairy tale situation. Was is used for statements of fact. This is a fact. When I was younger, I could eat a candy bar every day and not gain weight. It's a fact, so I use was. Your sister was my college roommate. It was a great party. Then we have sang or sung. Okay, sung is what is considered a past participle. And we only use it after a helping verb. So, has sung, had sung, was sung. And if you don't see a helping verb, has, had, or was, then you're going to use the word sang. Okay, how do we know when to use done or did? Done is another past tense participle, and it is also usually alongside the words have, has, or had. So if you need to know whether to use done or did, look to see if it has the word have, has, or had in it. Have done, has done, had done. I have done my homework. He has done his homework. We had done our homework. Okay, so if you need to go back and look at some more of these slides, I will have this in the module just without the narration as well. So now you are ready to take the quiz on regular and irregular verbs after you watch this.